A presidency in search of applause, Donald Trump and the politics of perpetual disturbance. There are many ways to exercise power. Some leaders pursue it through institutions. Others through ideology. A smaller and more curious category seeks it through visibility alone. Donald Trump belongs decisively to the latter. In recent weeks, the American president has complained that Norway deprived him of a Nobel Peace Prize he believes was owed for allegedly stopping 8 wars, mused aloud about military action to seize Venezuela's president, and proposed federal intervention to prevent college football games from competing with the annual Army-Navy broadcast. He has also, with characteristic confidence, informed foreign leaders that their insufficient admiration may affect his commitment to peace. To supporters, this is forthright leadership. To critics, it is farce. To psychologists, it is continuity. Nothing here is new. The novelty lies only in the expectation that it might have been otherwise. The misconception of instability. Each fresh eruption is received with ritual astonishment. Commentators speak of unpredictability, as though Mr. Trump were a previously cautious figure who has lately misplaced his bearings. This is a misreading. As Mary Grace Anderson, a psychotherapist, has observed, Mr. Trump's conduct is best understood not as deviation but as persistence. His leadership style, formed long before public office, favors stimulation over stability. Exposure over equilibrium, and narrative dominance over institutional restraint. In this sense, what appears erratic externally functions as coherence internally. The presidency, to Mr. Trump, is not primarily a constitutional role. It is a stage. And stages reward volume, visibility as authority. Most presidents attempt to manage the news cycle. Mr. Trump seeks to inhabit it. He has long demonstrated an intuitive understanding of modern politics' central currency, attention. Not persuasion, not legislation, not even consistency, attention. The aim is less to convince than to occupy. High-intensity rhetoric, abrupt reversals, personal feuds, and theatrical grievance serve a single purpose: to ensure that all conversations, however hostile, eventually circle back to him. This is not accidental excess. It is strategic saturation. When the nation is debating Mr. Trump's remarks, it is not debating his record. When institutions are responding to his provocations, they are no longer setting their own agenda. The noise is the point. Identity under pressure. Psychologically, Mr. Trump displays a trait common among individuals with rigid self-concepts. Under pressure, they intensify rather than adapt. Legal scrutiny, reputational damage, and political threat do not produce moderation. They produce exaggeration. This has been visible throughout his career. Faced with criticism, he does not recalibrate. He escalates. Faced with contradiction, he does not clarify. He attacks. Adaptation would imply fallibility. Fallibility would imply weakness. Weaknesses, in his internal hierarchy, is intolerable. Thus, behavior hardens into ritual. The ritualized counterattack. One such ritual has been identified by Sidney Blumenthal as a classic manipulation framework known as DARVO: deny, attack, reverse victim, and offender. Mr. Trump has employed it with almost procedural consistency. When accused by Jean Carroll of sexual assault, a claim later upheld in civil court, he denied knowing her, attacked her credibility, and repositioned himself as the true victim of persecution. The sequence was so familiar that it required little improvisation. The objective is not persuasion of the undecided. It is reassurance of faithfulness. If the leader is under attack, then loyalty is reaffirmed. If the system prosecutes him, then the system must be corrupt. Guilt becomes evidence not of wrongdoing, but of danger to powerful interests. In this logic, exoneration would be disappointing. January 6 and the limits of loyalty. The events of January 6, 2021, were neither spontaneous nor incomprehensible. They represented the logical endpoint of a narrative in which only one electoral outcome could be legitimate. Once that premise was accepted, the rest followed naturally. In Mr. Trump's political cosmology, loyalty outweighs legality. Belief supersedes process. The crowd that stormed the Capitol did not see itself as defying democracy. It believed it was defending a truer version of it, That Mr. Trump later sought to reframe, monetize, or politically repurpose the episode was therefore unsurprising. Attention, even in disgrace, remains preferable to irrelevance. The Nobel preoccupation. Among Mr. Trump's many fixations, none is more revealing than his obsession with the Nobel Peace Prize. The award confers no power and enacts no policy. It offers only recognition, precisely its appeal. That Barack Obama received it remains, for Mr. Trump, an unresolved offense against the moral order. His recent letter to Norway's Prime Minister, suggesting that the absence of such recognition frees him from an obligation to think purely of peace, reads less like diplomacy than emotional accounting. Peace, in this formulation, is conditional, reward precedes restraint. It is a transactional morality well suited to business negotiations, less so to nuclear diplomacy, the performance of control. Mr. Trump's suggestion that the federal government regulate college football scheduling may appear trivial. It is not. Such gestures serve as a symbolic function. They allow power to be seen rather than exercised quietly. They demonstrate command in domains ordinarily untouched by presidential authority. The substance is irrelevant. Visibility is essential. In this sense, governance becomes theater, sovereignty expressed through interruption. The Epstein emails and predictable denial. The release of email correspondence between Jeffrey Epstein and Ghislaine Maxwell, suggesting past proximity between Mr. Trump and individuals later identified as victims, produced a response so immediate as to be automatic. Republicans decried selective leaking. The White House denounced fabrication. The familiar choreography resumed. Again, the pattern mattered more than the particulars. Evidence is not assessed, it is categorized. Either it affirms the leader or it belongs to the conspiracy. Truth becomes partisan. Doubt becomes disloyal. Orderly disorder. Mr. Trump's presidency is frequently described as chaotic. This is inaccurate. Chaos implies randomness. His conduct follows a recognizable structure: escalation, provocation, reaction, dominance. Each controversy must exceed the last. Each gesture must command greater attention. The system demands ever larger disturbances to achieve the same effect. Like any stimulus-dependent mechanism, tolerance builds. What was once shocking became routine. Institutions adapt. Standards erode not through collapse, but through exhaustion. Eventually, citizens cease asking whether something should occur. They ask only whether it will trend. Explanation without exoneration. Psychological context does not absolve behavior. It merely clarifies it. Mr. Trump's actions are shaped by reinforcement loops, audience feedback, and a personality structured around defiance. Understanding this does not soften the consequences. It merely removes surprise. The danger is not that he behaves this way, but that the system continues to reward it. A mirror, not an aberration. Mr. Trump did not invent the conditions that enabled him. He exploited them: a media economy that monetizes outrage, a political culture impatient with complexity, a public sphere addicted to immediacy. He is not an aberration of age. He has the most legible symptoms, the quiet end note, in the end. The most revealing question is not whether Mr. Trump understands his conduct, it is whether restraint is psychologically available to him at all. A man who equates silence with disappearance cannot govern quietly. A leader who experiences criticism as annihilation cannot accept limits. A presidency built on performance cannot tolerate normality. Thus, the disturbances will continue. Not from strategic necessity, but from emotional arithmetic. Attention must be renewed, conflict must be generated, applause, hostile or otherwise, must be summoned. In a republic designed for deliberation, this is an awkward arrangement, but in an age that confuses noise for meaning, it may be precisely the presidency it deserves.